Bika AI is a website that offers you a super agent that can assist you with various tasks such as information retrieval, content creation, and all-round research, and even design and marketing. If this is your first time here, my name is Jay. This is the Everyday AI channel where we teach you how you can use AI in your daily lives. So I'm going to dive right into this here, and what I'm actually going to do, I think I want to get into the habit of showing you guys my full end-to-end workflow whenever I'm using these sort of tools. So I just want to demo Bika AI here, but I will give you an understanding of how I approach my workflow. So this was the first prompt I gave to ChatGPT. I said, give me a high signal, low noise signal description of your current contextual understanding of me as a professional. Now it's giving me all of this information, but of course what we like to do whenever we're prompting is include delimiters, because these platforms and these large language models can be somewhat verbose and we don't necessarily want that. So then I said, now compress that so it's less than 250 words. Great stuff. So now I've got my context, and of course context portability is always an important concept whenever you're using large language models for workflows. And as I always say to my corporate clients, right, we need to use this technology to help us speak what I like to call the language of results. Results are symptoms of systems. Systems are descriptions of how work flows, and workflows are based on the three foundational pillars of inputs, processes, and outputs. Anything else is ultimately a bunch of speech theater, and it's not really necessary in the boardroom. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say to this super agent, give me, or rather conduct a live web search to provide me with content, talking points, relevant to what I do as a professional. I've provided a context capsule below. Context capsule, by the way, is something I just created to, it's just a phrase I made up just to describe the importance of, portable context that you can basically copy and paste into large language models. So I'm going to run this prompt. We're going to see what Bika AI gives us. And we are going to dive right into this here. Another thing I think is worth mentioning is whenever I do work with my clients, I always go in and we do what I like to call a team audit, which is an acronym that stands for time, energy, attention, and money. The only four things any human being can control in this world in terms of how they spend them. I think it's always important to bear that in mind. I guess not just in professional life, but also in personal life. So it seems here that this request has exceeded this API key set usage limits. Okay, that's a note for the team at Bika. It looks like it can't actually run a live web search. I think that would be very useful for your users. Of course, I make these videos to also provide feedback to the people creating these sort of AI platforms. And as you can see here, we've got a few things that have surfaced. So here's some strategic talking points. So AI shifting from tools to decision infrastructure, absolutely true. Copilot to the new operating layer for knowledge work, couldn't have said it better myself. Agentic workflows beat one-off prompts, certainly true. AI readiness is about operating models, not just data and models. Interesting stuff. From dashboards to decision loops. Cool. I really like that. Dashboards to the decision loops. That sounds really cool. Something that could potentially be in the next workshop I do. Okay, cool. So you guys can take a look here. I'm going to scroll down slowly so you can pause at various points to actually read the rest of this. But I think this is quite cool. As you can see, you have access to a few different agents here. I'm not exactly going to go into them, but you can see what they sort of do. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Looks like you can also share things with a team if you want to do so. You can also have access to what looks like, I think the resources tab is essentially this team here. Looks like you can also create some shortcuts. I'm not quite sure exactly what they would look like. And here's a series of here's the series of chats you've had. And if you go into expert, you can actually select different sort of modes or sort of agents that you can actually use to create different things. Like here we've got a space, which I assume is like similar to a canvas where you can ideate. We've got missions, reports, and a few other interesting things here. So definitely check out Bika AI if you think it would be useful for you. Final note for the team, you definitely want to enable live web search just so you can get the most up-to-date information as a user, because the thing is, is about this age of AI is that each information or each new discovery that comes out.
I'm actually pleased to announce I've launched one of my first digital products, which is a 7-day prompting ebook. I've called it Perfecting Prompts, and it's essentially a 7-day crash course on how you can improve your prompting so that you can supercharge your productivity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to Perfecting Prompts below. I put in a lot of work into it, and in there I actually include some frameworks that I teach to global corporations. Definitely check it out.
It's coming out much quicker than, let's say, pre-AI, which also means like the amount of time that you can actually use, or the, how do I describe this? The advantage you can extract from any sort of developing discovery or news is now very much short-lived. But of course, there are more frequent discoveries being made. So, do with that as you will. The key thing is speed in this case, but it's about compromising, or rather, it's about not compromising integrity and quality of output and research, while still increasing the speed at which it takes for you to actually conduct both research and, any form of communication. So definitely check out Bika if you think it would be useful for you.